For years, the United States struggled to make rigid coaxial rotors work without the blades violently colliding mid-flight. China secretly solved the problem and flew the proof. Late 2023 saw a grainy photograph surface on Chinese social media, instantly sending shockwaves through Western defense circles. It showed a ghostly gray, radically angular helicopter tearing across the sky, powered by two counter-rotating rigid rotors and a blazing rear pusher propeller. This was not a conceptual rendering. This was hardware in flight. For over a decade, the People's Liberation Army had kept this configuration completely concealed, acknowledging only vague next-generation rotorcraft research. Now, a black book skunkworks project managed by AVIC Harbin had materialized, proving Beijing had successfully engineered a high-speed compound helicopter to rival the defunct American SB-1 Defiant. The global race to build the next generation of vertical lift had just gotten a new, formidable contender. But building a helicopter that can sprint at 250 knots requires fundamentally rethinking how a rotorcraft is made, starting from the atomic level. Conventional helicopters hit a hard aerodynamic wall around 170 knots. As the aircraft moves forward, the advancing blade generates massive lift, but the retreating blade loses airflow, creating a dangerous imbalance known as retreating blade stall. Overcoming this requires a physics-defying leap. You cannot build a machine that defies conventional aerodynamics without materials that defy conventional structural limits. The journey begins in the stark, open-pit mines of inland China, where massive excavators tear into dark, granular ilmenite sand. This heavy mineral is the primary source of titanium, the backbone of any advanced airframe. The raw ore is loaded into crushing mills, subjected to intense chlorination to form titanium tetrachloride, and then refined through the Kroll process. Magnesium is introduced, stripping away the chlorine and leaving behind a porous metallic sponge. This sponge is then vacuum distilled and melted into ingots, creating a metal that is exceptionally strong, yet remarkably light. But titanium alone cannot survive the extreme aerodynamic stresses of a coaxial rotor system spinning at high speeds. The real secret to this helicopter lies in its blades. They cannot be flexible like standard helicopter rotors. They must be rigid, stiff enough to slice through the air without flexing into the blade spinning inches above or below it. Achieving that stiffness requires domestic T800 grade carbon fiber. The precursor for this aerospace-grade composite is polyacrylonitrile, a thick, golden polymer extruded in massive chemical plants. Through a series of agonizingly precise heat treatments in oxygen-free ovens, the golden strands are stabilized under extreme tension, carbonized, and finally graphitized at temperatures approaching 3,000 degrees Celsius. The non-carbon atoms are burned away, twisting the remaining molecular chains into tightly packed structures that are stronger than steel, but a fraction of the weight. What the carbonization process leaves behind is the foundation of a weapon system designed to remove the element of surprise from any adversary. This helicopter exists specifically to deny opposing forces the ability to hide behind terrain or retreat under the cover of slow-moving conventional threats. It closes the gap between fixed wing speed and rotary wing agility, effectively stripping adversaries of the reaction time they depend on to survive. Protecting the industrial pipeline that builds it is a strategic imperative. Moving these raw materials from the earth and the chemical plant to the factory floor requires an industrial logistics network wrapped in layers of operational security. Heavy wooden crates of titanium ingots and sealed drums of pre-impregnated carbon fiber resin are loaded onto flatbed railcars, moving across the country through armed convoys. The security is not just about protecting the material from theft. It is about shielding the supply chain from foreign intelligence eyes. Satellites routinely track raw material shipments to gauge production rates, meaning the transport logistics must be obscured. Pre-impregnated carbon fiber, or pre-preg, is particularly sensitive. It must be kept at sub-zero temperatures during transit to to prevent the epoxy resin from curing prematurely. Cryogenic transport containers are loaded onto specialized rail cars, their internal temperatures monitored constantly. A failure in the cold chain means a ruined batch of aerospace-grade composite, a delay that cascades through the entire skunkworks program. But the real manufacturing bottleneck, the one that determines whether this helicopter remains a laboratory experiment or becomes a fleet, lies ahead in the forge. When the convoys finally arrive at the secure AVIC Harbin manufacturing complex, the real transformation begins. The fabrication floor is a chaotic symphony of extreme heat, pressure, and precision. Raw titanium ingots are heated until they glow a blinding white, then slammed under massive hydraulic rams, forging the crude metal into the rough shapes of rotor hubs and gearbox housings. This isothermal forging process aligns the internal grain structure of the titanium, giving it the fatigue resistance required to withstand the massive cyclic loads of a coaxial rotor system. From there, the components move to the machining bay. Massive 5-axis CNC mills carve the forged titanium with brutal efficiency. Rivers of aggressive coolant wash over the cutting tools as they shave away metal, leaving behind the complex, interlocking geometries required for the dual-drive gearbox. This is the mechanical heart of the coaxial system. Unlike a standard helicopter with a single mast, this aircraft requires an outer tubular shaft and an inner solid shaft, spinning in opposite directions at high RPM. Machining these concentric titanium shafts requires deep hole drilling and precision grinding to tolerances measured in single-digit microns. Any harmonic vibration induced by an imperfect surface finish could cause catastrophic resonance at high speed, tearing the aircraft apart mid-flight. The outer shaft must be perfectly balanced around the inner shaft, supported by precision bearings that can handle both the radial loads of the rotor and the axial thrust generated by high-speed maneuvers. Meanwhile, the rigid rotor blades take shape in the composite bay. Automated fiber placement robots lay up sticky black carbon fiber tape over metallic blade roots, meticulously aligning the resin-saturated fibers to maximize tensile strength. The T800 toes are compacted under heavy rollers, forcing out trapped air and ensuring every fiber carries its share of the aerodynamic load. Once laid up, the blades are sealed in vacuum bags and rolled into massive cylindrical autoclaves, where they are baked solid under immense heat and pressure. The autoclave cures the epoxy, transforming the pliable black tape into a rigid, unyielding structure. Yet, how exactly AVIC has managed to scale this production without introducing microscopic voids into the composite layup remains a subject of intense debate. Some Western analysts argue that Chinese manufacturing processes still lack the consistency to produce void-free T800 structures at volume, pointing to historical issues with delamination in high-stress environments. Others point to the flying prototype as irrefutable proof that the industrial capability has matured. It is a question the PLA has not officially answered, and the answer dictates everything about this platform's true threat level. What the cleanroom team found during the integration stage would dictate whether this mechanical complexity could actually be controlled in the air. The transition from the deafening forge to the sterile assembly hall is jarring. Here, under blinding white LED arrays and across seamless white epoxy floors, the helicopter is painstakingly brought to life. Technicians in blue anti-static jumpsuits and hairnets work in a filtered air stillness that belies the violence this machine is built to endure. The most critical phase is the integration of the intermeshing planetary gears into the dual-drive gearbox housing. Lowering the gear sets into place requires surgical precision. The epicyclic gears must distribute the immense torque from the twin turboshaft engines to both the coaxial rotors and the rear pusher propeller simultaneously. A misalignment of a fraction of a millimeter would cause catastrophic gear binding under load, instantly locking the rotors. With the mechanical core seated, The concentric titanium drive shafts are carefully calibrated using laser alignment tools, ensuring the upper and lower rotors will spin in perfect, opposing synchronization. Then comes the neurosystem, the fly-by-wire avionics. A rigid rotor system is inherently unstable. Unlike conventional articulated rotors that flap and drag to absorb aerodynamic forces, rigid rotors transmit those forces directly to the fuselage. Without constant, microsecond-level computer corrections, the aerodynamic forces would cause the blades to diverge and collide. The redundant flight computers are wired into the airframe, acting as the invisible hand that keeps the physics in check. The algorithms governing those corrections are among the most closely guarded secrets in the entire program. They must calculate the exact pitch angle for each individual blade, dozens of times per rotation, based on inputs from hundreds of strain gauges and accelerometers embedded in the rotor hub. Whether any adversary has matched the precision of these concentric shafts and the software that controls them is something no public source has confirmed either way. The hardware is impressive, but the software is the true black box. That tolerance margin in the shaft alignment is smaller than most engineers would attempt. Whether it is achievable reliably at volume is still being debated, and the answer will define the threat this platform poses. Finally, the rear pusher-prop gearbox is integrated into the tail cone, completing the mechanical chain that will propel the helicopter beyond conventional speed limits. The propeller shaft connects to a dedicated gearbox that can independently vary its pitch, allowing the pilot to transition smoothly from a hover, where the prop is feathered and generating minimal drag, to high-speed forward flight, where it provides the overwhelming thrust that a rotor alone cannot sustain. The fully assembled prototype stands ready to face the elements. At a remote PLA test facility deep in the arid expanse of the Gobi Desert, the helicopter sits on a sun-baked concrete apron. The transition from the sterile cleanroom to the harsh, wind-scoured desert is absolute. As the engines spool up, the two rigid rotors blur into a transparent disc above the fuselage, slicing through the thin desert air without the flexing and flapping of conventional blades. The acoustic signature is entirely unfamiliar, a deep, throbbing hum, replacing the rhythmic slap of a standard helicopter. The aircraft lifts into a stable hover, the fly-by-wire system silently making thousands of corrections a second to keep the rotors from destroying each other. Then, the nose pitches down, and the rear pusher prop engages. The helicopter surges forward, the pusher prop visibly biting the air, driving the airframe toward speeds no standard helicopter could ever achieve. It kicks up a massive dust cloud as it screams across the desert floor, a stark demonstration of high-speed maneuverability. The sheer aerodynamic complexity required to make this transition smoothly is staggering. Whether that operational speed justifies the mechanical fragility inherent in a coaxial system is a question defense procurement offices across the globe are still arguing about. The world first saw this machine through a grainy, leaked photograph. Since then, the PLA has still not officially acknowledged the platform, its specifications, or its operational timeline. The secrecy that shrouded its development in Harbin now follows it into the desert. We know it flies. We know the industrial chain that built it. But the true extent of its capabilities and how many of these compound gunships will ultimately roll off that assembly line remains locked behind the walls of a program that the Chinese government still refuses to formally admit exists. The rotors are spinning, the prop is pushing, the rest is still classified.
This video is created for educational and informational purposes using advanced AI tools and human creativity. All concepts, scripting, and storytelling are independently developed to ensure originality. Visuals and animations are generated or enhanced using AI technologies such as View 3, Meta AI, and Grok AI, while final editing and post-production are completed using CapCut and other professional editing tools. No external created content has been copied or reused. Any resemblance to real-world environments, factories, or processes is purely coincidental. All scenes shown in the video are digitally created and do not represent real footage. This content is produced with transparency and follows YouTube monetization guidelines.